or mobile. Take Fox Sports 1350 with you using iHeartRadio. Is the IE's home for sports. KPWK AM 1350, Riverside, San Bernardino, an iHeartRadio station.
This is Robert Littell from BlackSportsOnline.com, and I'm out here with Fox 1350.
We are Fox Sports.
That's my mic. That's my microphone, man. Jesus Christ.
Yes, we are live in the great city of Riverside. I got my headphones wrapped around my dome piece.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, we have reads and we have a show. I don't want the people at the station getting upset, but you know, we're what, 10, 15 seconds into the show. We have a standard way that we start the show. And then he just takes this time. We only been here 30 minutes.
Let me clear my throat. Sorry about that. You know, I had my public waiting for me. Yes, we are live in the great city of Riverside at the iHeartRadio studios. It's IE Sportsnet, protected by the Riverside Sheriff. I am your host, Eternal.
Riverside Sheriff's Association. And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, you know the conversation starts and stops here. Make sure you check us out on FoxSports1350.com. I just want to make sure that we say the Riverside Sheriff's Association, because Mr. Masson has corrected me before about that. Is the Riverside Sheriff's Association.
Yes, indeed. As you said, you mentioned that because it is important, and they do take care of us. So big shout out to the Association of the Riverside Sheriffs. Wow, what a crazy night in sports last night. I mean, if you guys, it was just, chaotic. Most folks are probably still just getting up or maybe are still sleeping. But wow, last night was just crazy. You had the Dodgers on. You had really a lot of big time games happening here in the Inland Empire in terms of the high school football scene. Big time games. You know, our top 10. Most of the teams are existing in the top 10 of the Fox Sports Radio top 10 prep poll were in competition. And a lot of those teams were playing each other last night. So, like, I think 2 teams out of the top 5 were in competition, which is, like, really crazy. So, a big night in football.
Indeed it is. And we also got, I'm excited about it because we have a huge thing that happened last night. You talk about big things.
Yes.
There was last year we did the IE Sportsnet, the magazine print issue. And one of the teams that we highlighted was Linfield Christian. And one of the young men that was on our magazine. Last year he suffered a gruesome injury. I'll have Coach Burns call in just a minute because there was he made a breakthrough last year. Alex Ruiz, he was able to get back to the field. And I had a moment while I was driving into the station this morning. Coach Burns had let me know that this young man, just a year ago, this young man was in a hospital bed. His leg was busted open on both sides, and he actually suffered an amputation. But last night, this young man was able to get back to the football field, and he played a high school football game. And Coach Burns, I know he was doing we were trying to get Alex on the air, but Alex has to take his SATs because he goes to Linfield Christian. So, you know, Linfield Christian.
Priorities.
Yes. So you know, he's definitely going to make sure that he gets his school in. So Coach Burns is going to call in a second. Last night, they had a big game. They were able to get that win. So we're excited to hear that. And Coach Burns just said he just wanted to let us know, you know. And he kind of tried to sprinkle it on us before, but unfortunately I just had some things going on with the family, and I wasn't able to connect with him sooner. But like I said, we tried to get Alex on, but it's all good. So Coach Burns will be calling in a second. Like you said, last night, it was the end of regular season play. What a game last night where we did the high school game of the week.
Yes.
And our guys over at Etiwanda, unfortunately, they were not able to bring it home. Etiwanda took the L against Chino Hills.
Yes.
Ended 4-6, and Chino Hills ended 6-4. So it looks like Chino Hills will be the team that'll get a chance to go out and represent the Baseline League as the third.
Yeah.
And there was a big game with, not to cut you off, the league championship pretty much went on last night.
Yeah, I mean, it was, like we said, last night was a really crazy game in football. It was just, like I said, you know, for Baseline League in particular, you had as you're alluding to, you had Upland and Rancho Cucamonga playing, and for baseline, it's always kind of like a coin toss to see who's going to be number one. And for the year, for the most of the year, Upland had been atop of the baseline league. However, Rancho Cucamonga had went on a winning streak. If I'm not mistaken, they were undefeated in baseline league play, so that means they had 5 games where they just went on a 5-game winning streak, and just really out of the just played really big time. And so you had teams like Upland come out there. You had teams like Los Osos, Chino Hills, Etowanda, all in that baseline league, and Rancho Cucamonga beat all of them. And big shout out to the Cougars.
When you look at Rancho Cucamonga's schedule, when the season first started, you thought it was over for Rancho because with Rancho Cucamonga, their head coach, Coach Baez, actually stepped down last year. So Rancho Cucamonga started off the season losing 18-14 to Roosevelt, losing 49-14 to Norco, losing 45-14 to Bishop Amat, losing 42-13 to Calabasas. And I know they had an injury at quarterback, but there was something. They went out and played Victor Valley and won 54-6, and then they went on that run. And like you said, they beat Chino Hills 35-14, beat Etowanda 42-7. They beat Damien 57-17, beat Los Osos 35-24, and then they beat Upland last night 34-20. So they started the season off 0-4, and then they went on a 6-game winning streak after that. So Rancho Cucamonga, what a season they turned around, and they got it going. And we have a special guest calling in. Is that the one and only Coach Burns calling in?
Hey, morning, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing good, and yourself?
I'm doing well. Just watching a little film. My coach, Coach Agual here. We're looking at some stuff from last night.
Excellent.
Appreciate what you guys do, man.
No, we appreciate you, man. And like I said on the when we talked this morning, you're never interrupting us. You're never bothering us. So I certainly appreciate everything that you do as well. And last night, you guys had a big game last night where you guys had a chance to play some football. And and tell me what was so special about last night.
Well, last night we had a chance to witness the miracle of God. And I don't want to get you in trouble or nothing like that, but I got to go ahead and say that, on the radio, because that's what it was. Alex Ruiz, our quarterback, who was hurt about a year and a month ago. So about 13 months ago, this young man had an injury where he had a severed artery in his right leg and dislocated knee, the same injury that Zach Miller from Chicago Bears got.
Right.
That resulted in a leg amputation, like right below the shin. And about a year ago this time, he was in a hospital with his calf filleted on both sides and trying to get life back to it, an artificial artery. And last night, the young man was able to get back on the field and play a football game with an artificial leg, an amputation, and a prosthetic. And I think it was second series, third play. He threw a 37-yard touchdown, and then ended up he was 2 for 3 and 2 touchdowns on the night, and might have, came close to hitting close to 100 yards maybe in the air, and then handed it off and held for PATs. And just a monumentous night for this man to see where he was a year ago in a hospital bed, clinging on to hope and not sure if he'll ever come back, and everything that went through, and then him having to make a decision to amputate his leg.
Right, that's
be on the field last night.
And that's a very encouraging story. As you said, we had that young man here live in studio, and you can just see he was not down at all. His whole mindset was like, hey, I want to get back to playing in some form or other. And I don't know if he could ever, or if anybody could ever just imagine that he would be on the field throwing the ball in competitive play. So that's really a huge story.
Yes, it is.
And I got a chance to talk to him this morning, Coach, and it wasn't about him, and you can see absolutely it's all about the team, and that's one thing about that young man. And one thing that was encouraging is he said that he just wanted to thank everybody that supported him and everybody that was behind him to help him get to this point. We know we tried to get him on, and we talked about this before you called in. He goes to Linfield Christian, so he had to take those SATs, and we know the academics are very important at Linfield Christian, so we certainly appreciate that. But you talk about last night, you guys went 9-1 for the season and 78-0. I'm sorry, you won last night 78-0. On that game, did you think, as I asked Alex this same question, when you talk about a year ago, and you know he has the gruesome injury, did you ever see this happening, this young man getting back on a football field?
You know what? Yes. The day that he told me, we were there, the day he had the surgery, we talked. And if I get a little choked up, you got to excuse me.
Oh, yeah, take your time, Coach.
Oh, boy. So the day that he had the surgery, he told me in his bed, he was like, we're just going to work on the knee. He goes, now I can get the knee surgery because he still had to get his knee done.
Right.
He said, I'll get the knee surgery, I'll be back. And maybe 2 days later, he was like standing on one leg, throwing the ball, playing catch with the physical therapist.
Wow.
So I didn't think any other thoughts because he's a gritty kid. I mean, he's been a ball player and just a dog since 7th grade. Just you tell him he can't do something, he's going the opposite way just to let you know he can.
Right.
That's just him. So it was like, okay, if this is what we're talking about, then we're all gas, no brakes, and let's go to work. And
that's one thing we talked about when I was on the phone with him. It sounds like this young man doesn't know what the word can't mean. You think about it, he's still young. He still has a lot of life ahead of him. And he just doesn't know what can't means or no means. What has this young man, and like you said, you get choked up, you get emotional. Not as a coach, just what has he meant to you as a person? Because I know you were, when the injury happened, you reached out to us and you wanted to make sure that we knew about it, and you've kept us in the loop on everything that's going on with his progress. But what has he meant to you as a person? This got to be one of the most special kids you've ever coached you've coached at the NFL level. You've done a lot, but this young man has really had to touch your heart.
Yes, I can't begin to tell you. I don't even know if there's words to put in place. He's inspired me. He's inspired me to push on and move and move. And there's days, I wasn't feeling it, and there's just no excuse.
Right.
There's no excuse.
Right. And
he don't have a leg, man.
Right.
And this dude gets up and goes after it. He's learning how to drive with his left.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it happened either right before he got his license or right after. So he hadn't really even been driving a bunch.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a really powerful story. And again, like I said, could please tell our audience the young man's name again, please?
His name is Alex Ruiz. Ruiz, Alex Ruiz.
And we'll make sure we get a picture of him up on our social media. But again, Coach Brown, we want to thank you again for sharing that story with our audience. Obviously, it's an emotional story, but it's a story about this people should be encouraged by.
Right.
Because, again, here you have where a young man suffered a really devastating injury, and you to see him, and again, how positive that young man was, and to really see him cap a season off by getting some playing time, and not just, out there playing, but playing competitively is something special. So
yeah,
again,
and he throwing touchdown passes and whatnot. And, before we do wrap, I know we're pressed up against the clock, but you said there was special guests there yesterday as well to see that game.
Man, we're in the game. All of a sudden, we turn around and there's Zach Miller from the Bears. So him and Zach connected like right when the injury happened because it was the same injury.
Right.
So they've been partners now on Instagram and social media, and he flew out and saw him. So next thing you know, we turn around and here's Zach Miller and ESPN touching Alex on the shoulder, and he turns around and I'm like, whoa,
Right.
Holy smokes! So that man was there to watch Alex play, watch him throw his touchdown passes. Spoke to our team at halftime. Real inspirational story as he's recovering from the injury and doing his thing. So, I mean, it's special, right? And he had the support, and he was very adamant in expressing to our team that Alex encouraged him.
Right. And that's good stuff. That's good stuff, Coach. So we definitely – I know you got film study to get to, but we want to say congratulations to Alex. He's inspiring. Like I said, stories like that give you an extra energy that you need. and it'll help you get through your day, because we all think that our life is challenged and we all think that there's too much. But when you see a young man like that who's still in high school, a senior in high school, if he can overcome stuff like that, we all can overcome things that are in front of us. So certainly appreciate you, Coach, for keeping us in the loop. You're never bugging us. If coaches don't take the time out to get us the stories, there's some things that we'll never get. So
exactly.
I certainly appreciate you taking time. Coach Burns, Linfield Christian, congratulations on a 9-1 season. That's one thing.
I was about to say, we want to make sure we acknowledge you for that great season. Good job to you and your coaching staff. And again, anytime we have a positive story like that, you're more than welcome to come on IE Sports Net right here live on Fox Sports Radio and share. So thank you so much, Coach.
B and Eddie, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys, man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Again, that is our guy right there, Coach Burns.
And he said my name first, so I appreciate him.
You know what, man? I was trying to
his headline.
I was telling you to wrap it up, man, because you just sat there and just took all the airtime.
I had to, man. It reminded me of the Agua Caliente Clippers, So I'm thinking, we got to change the name of the show. We talked about selling it to a sponsor, but I'm thinking we do like the Supremes. We just call it Coach B and IE Sports Net. I'm thinking I'm going to tell them to do that, to put that on I take top billing. So let's go ahead and take a commercial break while we got a minute.
And then intern Cam.
Oh, my goodness.
Intern Cam.
I tell you, this is radio, man.
What you mean? Do you see what I wore
What's
today?
your favorite movie about the dress code?
Look.
Tell the story.
It is real quick.
And that is your life.
I'll make it quick. There's a movie called Talk to Me. It's one of my favorite actors in there, Don Cheadle. And the movie is about a Washington, D.C., well-known Washington, D.C. DJ. And his first day to work, he was a little late.
Right.
And the producer says, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you late?" And so the guy's like, "Hey, check me out, man. I had to get my gear together." And the guy was like, "You're on radio."
And that doesn't make sense in 2018, but you got to think this was 30 years ago.
Yeah,
this is before social media,
right.
before cameras, when it was true radio.
It was true. There's nobody even taking pictures in there.
Right. So let's go ahead and take a commercial break. You're listening to IE Sportsnet, protected by the Riverside Sheriff's Association with Coach B.
Andy Turner. When it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here, live on Fox Sports, 1350.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto and Prodexa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Prodexa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Prodexa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our four-season sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors. Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait. A family hub.
Yeah!
No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons Sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Score Sports has been a loyal partner in the sports industry for over 40 years. Founded in 1975, Score Sports has always been a family-owned and operated business located in the heart of Southern California. They offer a full line of youth and adult soccer uniforms, accessories, and field equipment, youth and adult basketball uniforms and accessories and equipment. Score Sports can outfit your coaches and league referees as well, and much more. Their dedication and attention to detail has transformed Score Sports into one of the leading sport uniform manufacturers in the United States. Visit their spacious warehouse at 726 East Anaheim Street in Wilmington, or call them today at 800-626-7774. That's 800-626-7774.
Hey, football
or visit
fans,
them on the
leave
web
the
at
Hail Marys for the game.
scoresports.com.
Go for the
That's
shirt.
scoresports.com, at facebook.com/scoresports, or on Twitter and Instagram with the handle ScoreSports. That's ScoreSports.
Hey, football fans, leave the Hail Marys for the game and go for the sure thing when it comes to satisfying your craving. When you pick up Raising Cane's for game day, all you have to worry about is the score, because we've got the food covered with fresh, never-ever frozen chicken fingers, cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. Our chicken fingers are always hand-battered and cooked to order, so no matter the score, you'll always win. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we're all about quality. We mix cane sauce in our restaurants every day. And our chicken is hand-battered and cooked to order. Our Texas toast is grilled with just the right amount of butter and garlic. And our lemonade is always freshly squeezed.
Love in the window.
And why do we do all this? Because it makes a difference. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
What's up, world? This is your favorite comic, Tony Rock. And you're checking out Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports.
Yes, we are back in the great city of Riverside at the iHeartRadio studios, Society Sportsnet, protected by the Riverside Sheriff's Association. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, you know the conversation starts and stops here. Make sure you check us out at foxsports1350.com.
So I got some text messages, and every time I get these text messages, I have to respond in some form or other. My brother said that the children are listening, so I want to make sure I give a shout-out to the children.
Which brother?
I call him Thriller, but his name is Will.
Okay.
And so the children are Anicia, Jalen, I call him Jam Master J, and Narelle.
Oh, you know what? Tell Will he'll be happy. Norte Vista won, and they beat Ramona. What high school did Will go to?
Turn the microphone off.
Will went to Norte Vista,
Turn the
correct?
microphone off.
Correct?
I don't want to. Thank you.
Yes, he did. So that tells you yes.
Did you give him?
And what school did you go to?
Turn the microphone off. I don't want to talk about this right
Big
now.
Will.
We have guests. We have company, and we want to show.
But I want to make sure your family's comfortable.
You know what? No, I'm not comfortable right now. Jesus, my goodness. Excuse me, young lady. You didn't just act like you didn't hear that right there. We have a very special guest. This young lady said she's been on the radio 5-6 times already. Yeah. Okay. Look, she's coached up already. Please introduce yourself to the Fox Sports Radio audience.
Well, my name is Lauren Garthwaite. I'm a football player and soccer player.
Yes.
No, wait, I think you said your name wrong. Your name is Mook. Is that your name?
That is my nickname.
Okay. But you know, and that's from Mookie Blaylock.
Yeah. Oh, that's like.
Is your dad from Atlanta? No. Okay.
Well, that you get. You know, there's a whole lot of.
Man, Mookie Blaylock was.
That was my guy.
All right.
Anyway,
I get sidetracked. I'm sorry. What about?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now. We're having old man problems.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Generation X thing, you know.
Yeah. So you're a two-sport athlete.
Yeah.
And that you're obviously a young lady, but you said you were a football player, and I like the way you said that. You didn't say, "Hey, I'm on the special teams." I'm a football player. I'm a football player. Do tell what you do in football.
I do kickoff, I do punt, and I do field goal sometimes.
So now here's the situation. When you do punt, there could be a situation where the defense breaks down, and you're gonna have to make a tackle.
Yeah, I've done it.
So talk to us about that experience. Talk to us about that experience.
Okay, well, yeah, they didn't block that one guy, and I just had to get him, and they never taught me how to tackle, so I just went at it.
So that was just like so throughout the coaching, throughout the football experience, that was something like, okay, well, what do I do if they actually break through and I have to like show up, right?
Yeah, I mean, like most of those guys are scared, but I'm in the same equipment as them, so I'm just gonna go at it.
Right.
It'll be fine.
I love the attitude. That is great. Now, again, you're a poly bear.
Yes.
I want you to know, I gotta say this right now, just full disclosure. I went to high school at this prestigious school.
Oh my!
That sat up on a hill.
That your brother's school just beat.
I don't want to talk about that part.
Big Will, I got you.
Call Ramona. We have pride. I'm sure that you guys have pride as well. But again, Polly, talk to us about how this year has been for you in terms of your kicking, your kicking and so forth.
It's been great. Like, we just played North last night in order to get into playoffs, but unfortunately we lost. But it was a really good battle, and we had a good time.
Fantastic. And now I know Coach B asked some questions, but I want to talk about your other sport that you play. You're a goalkeeper.
Yes.
So, which is very peculiar because you go from kicking the ball to now you're goalkeeping, using your hands.
Yeah.
So talk to us about your experience with soccer.
I've been playing soccer for 13 plus years, and it's just been the best time of my life. I've been playing goalkeeper for 5. And I used to be a forward, actually, so I just completely role switched.
Yeah, certainly. Coach B, I know you have a question.
So on that, your dad was always your coach, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. What name drop? Mom and dad are both here. What's mom and dad's name?
My stepmom is Paulette, and my dad is Patrick.
Okay. And, we can talk about you playing goalie. We can talk about you playing football, but what I want to talk about, what I'm excited about, is this young lady's going to be a Lopes. So Eternal doesn't know what that means.
I do not.
So explain to Eternal and our audience what a Lopes is.
Grand Canyon University.
Oh, hold it.
There you go.
Let me say, one thing I can tell you. I don't know. Have you been in that gym? Have you experienced? Have you seen what they do in that gym over there?
I've seen videos of their assemblies, but I haven't been to one yet, and I'm so excited.
It has been well documented about what they do over there in that gymnasium. I don't know what they feed those kids over there, but you're gonna be transformed when you come. Parents, I hope you guys are ready when she comes back. She's gonna be transformed into something else.
At great university.
Yes.
So what and I know parents love that because I always say that the college for my kids is free university.
Free.com.
Yes. So what made you choose, such an amazing and outstanding university to go on and attend? It's not a better choice that you could have selected than GCU.
I don't know. When I took my official visit there, it just clicked. I just felt something like I could be there for the 4 years coming.
And the funny thing is, Eternal, you didn't catch it, but as soon as I threw up, we do something with our hands. So, when you make the antelope.
You know what?
We're at Grand Canyon University Antelopes.
Okay.
So, we make our little sign, we make our little symbol. So that's what we do.
I feel like I'm one of you guys now.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're not. You're not. So, but you know what? The one thing I want to know, where did that nickname come from? How did you get the nickname? Because Mookie Blaylock was a basketball player.
Yeah.
For the Hawks. Where did that? Every time you make a play, you say your dad and his friends shout that. So where did that come from?
Honestly, I don't know, but it hypes me up.
I know it works.
It gets me going.
I know that it works there. Fantastic.
So, because when I played sports, when I did something, my father just shook his head. And he walked out and said, "That's not my kid."
So where did you find him at? But no, again, congratulations. Now, so soccer's obviously coming up.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your soccer team, and are there some expectations? How are you feeling about the season coming up?
I'm really excited for this high school season because we've been undefeated league champs 4 years in a row.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's the real deal over there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And we just moved up a division, so we're going to have real good competition, and I'm really excited for this
And
year.
you slap around Ramona, right? And once again, Fox Sports.
We're not allowed to use certain language on here because generally I'll be using some adjectives and et cetera. But anyway, yes, we are live on Fox Sports Radio again.
Say the correct way to say your last name again.
Garthwaite.
I am so glad that you said that because when your father and I have been texting back and forth, and he sent me your last name, and I said, "Ooh, this is going to be." And generally speaking, I'm pretty good. But
right.
He's like the guy that needs
I
phonetics.
He's my own name.
Like I have to take him and go clap. I have to clap with me. Go, so generally I have to do that with him. But no, that's great. And so who's your coach over there for soccer, please?
Katie Ramfola.
And then do you know when you guys start over there?
I think we start in November.
So
real
again,
close.
so it's coming up. Two-sport athlete. Again, we really appreciate what you're doing. Keep up the good work. It's a great story. I'm glad we were introduced, and like I said, we're going to be covering you throughout your soccer career as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
She's going to GCU, so
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But one thing I want to talk about. The funny thing is, you kind of got thrown into playing because the starting kicker broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
And you hadn't played, so did you expect to go in, or?
There were other kickers in front of me, but he missed a PAT, so they're like, put Lauren in. And I was like, all right, let's go.
There you go.
Coach.
You're right.
She's fired up.
Now, and you weren't any fear about you potentially breaking a collarbone or anything like that? Like,
no, I mean whatever happens.
Rub some dirt on it, right? Let's go. There it is.
If I can walk and breathe, I'm fine.
There it is. I like it right here. Fantastic. Again, so we really appreciate it. Please say your full name again for the audience.
Lauren Garthwaite.
Fantastic. And she has your Instagram name is the best. I want to make sure it's Keeper Sweeper.
Keeper Sweeper.
Underscore.
Keeper _Sweeper.
There you go.
I'm feeling that. That's great. Fantastic. Again. And Polly, see, we're good. See how that works. Generally speaking, Polly and Ramona's like, oh,
yeah.
But see, I can handle it today.
She's a low, man.
See, there it is.
We got class.
Oh yeah.
We win with grace.
You're like saying like we, like not.
Well,
me.
I attended GCU. I didn't finish.
So you have partial. So you have partial grace in class.
Yes, I attended, but I can still say I'm a low.
There it is.
And the basketball team will be at the Wooden Classic.
Fantastic.
And I think I may have to go check. Dan Marley is our basketball coach for basketball. Who's your soccer coach? Who's going to be your soccer coach at GCU?
Ben Parman.
There you go.
Coaches, yeah.
Look at that. She's on it. She's like, hey, I remember that. Look at that. Fantastic.
We don't have a football team at GCU.
No,
but when you go up there, tell them, hey, I can kick if you need me.
Right.
Let them know.
If you're ready to start, I'm ready to start with you guys.
We just made the move to the WAC. Western Athletic Conference. So just so you know, so you'll be here at home playing CBU.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will be.
Oh wow.
Yes. That's
fantastic.
I'm a lope, man.
See, look.
I know about.
He does know how to read. See, look at that.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you for your time. Appreciate your parents bringing you out today. And again, keep up the good work and make sure you stay in contact with us. Okay.
Of course.
Fantastic. And it's Lauren
Garthwaite.
There you go. There you go.
Garthwaite.
Garthwaite.
There you go.
The E is silent.
E is silent.
So, funny thing that she says that. So that reminds me of. So at the LA Clippers, the lady that used to run the racetrack.
Oh.
Her name is Gillian Zucker. But, back in the day, I know your dad would know this, they had a show called X-File. It's spelled the same, but she called herself Jillian Zucker.
And he almost got us all fired.
So her assistant comes up to me, and I swear to you, he said, say Gil. Say Gil. I was like, okay. And I kept saying Gil. He said Gillian. Gil. I was like, oh, wow. It was like hooked on phonics. He made sure I said that name right. So the way you said it exactly, so I'm used to that. So it's all good.
All right, cool.
She's like, get over it. Get over it.
I've heard so many different ways to pronounce
that's so funny.
It's insane.
Well, my last name is Arrington. There's no L, but people love to call me Arlington. But yeah, it is.
And are you a Dodger fan?
I don't watch baseball.
Dad? Okay. All right. So
that means he's not a Dodger fan.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I was gonna share some excitement, but I guess I'll just keep that to myself right now. But again, thank you so much for coming on air, and we'll be right back after this. We're gonna talk again. We have a lot to discuss.
Yes, sir.
We were at Media Day for the Agua Caliente Clippers. We'll be talking about that. The season starts, what, is that next week or when is that?
The 4th. The first home game is November 4th.
So 4th, we encourage everybody to please come out and
come see me. I'll be doing autographs before the game.
I'll actually be the first person you see.
Okay.
Up there. So, and I'm not even charging for autographs this year. Last year, I know I was charging, but this year, I said no.
Because no one's wanted one.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Let's go ahead and do this. Let's take a commercial break.
Fantastic.
You listen to IE Sports. They're protected by the Riverside Sheriff's Association. I am Coach B.
And my name is Eternal. When it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here live on Fox Sports 1350.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto and Pradaxa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our four-season sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors. Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait. A family hub.
Yeah!
No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Score Sports has been a loyal partner in the sports industry for over 40 years. Founded in 1975, Score Sports has always been a family-owned and operated business located in the heart of Southern California. They offer a full line of youth and adult soccer uniforms, accessories, and field equipment, youth and adult basketball uniforms and accessories and equipment. Score Sports can outfit your coaches and league referees as well, and much more. Their dedication and attention to detail has transformed Score Sports into one of the leading sport uniform manufacturers in the United States. Visit their spacious warehouse at 726 East Anaheim Street in Wilmington, or call them today at 800-626-7774. That's 800-626-7774. Or visit them on the web at scoresports.com. That's scoresports.com, at facebook.com/scoresports, or on Twitter and Instagram with the handle ScoreSports. That's SCORESPORTS.
Hey, football fans, leave the Hail Marys for the game and go for the sure thing when it comes to satisfying your craving. When you pick up Raising Cane's for game day, all you have to worry about is the score, because we've got the food covered with fresh, never ever frozen chicken fingers, cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. Our chicken fingers are always hand battered and cooked to order, so no matter the score, you'll always win. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we're all about quality. We mix cane sauce in our restaurants every day, and our chicken is hand battered and cooked to order. Our Texas toast is grilled with just the right amount of butter and garlic, and our lemonade is always freshly squeezed.
Love in the window.
And why do we do all this? Because it makes a difference. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
This is Rumble in Town for BlackSportsOnline.com, and I'm out here with Fox 1350.
We are Fox Sports.
Oh, I almost did my puppy right now. Almost did my, yeah.
Well, you got scared of a clown?
Thank you, exactly. Thank you, Hal. I appreciate that, man. Help your boy out. It is. We are live right here in the great city of Riverside at the iHeartRadio studios. It's IE Sportsnet, protected by the Riverside Sheriff's Association. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, you know the conversation starts and stops here on Fox Sports 1350. You know what? I got to change that. When I said I am the one and only Coach B, the voice of your Agua Caliente Clippers of Ontario for the second season in a row. I was listening to an old podcast, and I still feel disrespected that Hootie thinks that he is the voice of the Agua Caliente Clippers. He is the in-game voice.
He better recognize
of the Agua Caliente Clippers, but I would have to say I am the official voice.
Well, you know, I want to be clear. I'm doing the media guide, and I don't know if you know this. I can edit you out of that.
No, that's another thing. So you had a conversation with the team yesterday, long conversation.
Very detailed conversation.
Now, was there a mention of a page dedicated to the voices of your Agua Caliente Clippers?
I have to
of Ontario.
I have to be really honest with you. I didn't.
So next time there's an important call like that, I'll make sure that I'm on the.
Well, because what I did was I did lobby for some advertising, and I lobbied for some to be in front of the situation when people come in to the Citizens Bank Business Arena, they see us first, or really me first.
This guy.
So we're working on that right there.
Okay.
But in terms of the but like I said, I'm the one doing it. So you're gonna believe it when I tell you, you will see us in there.
I apologize because I set you up in volleyball. They call it a setter, and then you expect someone to come close it with a spike.
Oh.
It's okay, man. I'll have to coach you up.
Oh. But anyway, we're right here live on Fox Sports Radio, AM 1350.
Big Will, North Vista 1, baby.
Oh, you know what? Shut up, man. Nobody want to hear that. But you know, one of the things that we're talking about here is the Fox Sports Radio AM, the poll, and we're talking about the top 10 poll. And Coach B, I tell you what, last night there's going to be some movement. People, you guys want to be ready. I think what we may end up doing next week, early Monday, is we'll have the poll available. We may let folks vote for the top 5. Just let them put it out there for the public and let them kind of engage in this voting process, because there's going to be some movement. I've been really putting, Coach B has been saying some stuff, but I've been on this. I saw Rancho Verde play, and I really thought that they should be higher in the poll. However, we do have a voting committee. They've thought otherwise. But let me tell you something, boy. Rancho Verde showed up. But anyway, we're going to go right up. We're going to go right to the 10. And number 10 for us was on the Fox Sports Radio AM 1350 prep football poll. And we're talking about Inland Empire High School football. Number 10, Coach B, was Roosevelt. And they fell in dramatic fashion, I might add, to Corona Centennial, 84-14.
I'll have to pull their record. I don't think they've scored less than 70 points this season.
Yeah, they've really
Centennial.
They've been mollywhopping people. And again, I'm gonna when I say that, they've really played. They didn't go out there and they played before the season, in their preseason play. They played competitive football and they're undefeated. So they're one of the only team. There's 2 teams that are in our poll that are undefeated, but they're one of the few that are one of the 2, that are undefeated. So that's Corona Centennial. But moving right along.
I take that back. Chandler, they put up 35. And Olu, and when they played Olu, they beat them 45-28. But they're a team full of sophomores and juniors.
Yeah, so they're going to.
So this isn't your typical Centennial team.
Yeah, and they're going to be on the rise. There's a lot of talent out here, and so I don't know. They're just one of those teams that you're going to see be good for some time now. However, and so we were talking about number 10. Number 10 was Roosevelt in our poll. Number 9 was Redlands East Valley.
Centennial was number 1 in the poll, so it was number 1 versus number 10.
Correct, exactly. Like we were suggesting that there was a lot of 1s and 2s playing, and so a lot of competitive football was being played last night. So at any rate, number 9 was Redlands East Valley. That was Rev, and they played across town. When I say across town, you can literally walk over there. They played Redlands, and they put it on Redlands, 41-27, Coach B.
And then one thing about it, we actually had a tie, because it was tough. We only have 10 teams in our poll. So number 10, it was tied with Roosevelt and Oak Hill. And Oak Hill had a tough game last night. It was a game that decided pretty much the High Desert. When you think of High Desert, you usually think of Oak Hill, Serrano, but Apple Valley has forced their way into the conversation. And number 10, Oak Hill, actually, and I think that they'll probably secure that 10th spot on their own. Did I just put a preview out for the poll? But they will probably secure that spot, if not move up in the poll. And they beat Apple Valley 35-26. That was a huge game for them when you look at it. And then you had the number 8 team going at it. You had Upland and Rancho Cucamonga. And Rancho Cucamonga has been a sleeper where some people, we put them in the poll, and some people have said, hey, they didn't really have a great record. I don't know what they did. Whatever light switch they found, they turned it on.
Yeah, and that was another team that very well could have been up there in the poll. They have just ran through the Baseline League, undefeated 5-0 in the Baseline League. We got a chance to see them when they played at Etiwanda, and they were as good as advertised. They fell short. They lost their quarterback early in the season, so they took some tough losses early, but they've come storming back. And again, they're obviously gonna be moved up significantly in the poll. But Rancho Cucamonga took care of business last night, 34-20, and beat the number 2 team in the poll, which is Upland.
Right. And that was a huge game for them. When you think about it, that game not only determined the fate of Baseline League, but nowadays it's one of those things where the CIF is going to have to look at what Rancho did. Because like I said, they had some early injuries. You're going to have to take a look at what Rancho did late in the season and say that, hey, this team has turned it on. And we talked about undefeated teams. Another team that isn't getting a lot of the limelight, but an undefeated team nonetheless, was Citrus Hill. Citrus Hill went 10-0 on the season when they defeated Beaumont. And our guy from Beaumont is our guy that you was at Rancho Verde last year. Why does his name escape me right now?
That's Coach Steinberg.
Steinberg. So they beat Beaumont 48-0. And Citrus Hill is one of those teams consistent. When you think of a consistent program, Citrus Hill is that.
No question about it. And as you said, undefeated this year.
And his brother, what is it about that family tree? Sorry to cut you off. His brother just won a league championship over at what is it called? Orange
Vista.
Vista.
And again, that's the Zamote brothers. And Eric Zamote actually has the coaching as the head coach over there for Citrus Hill. So we got to make sure we extend out to those guys because that's,
beautiful stadium. I haven't been there. You said it's a beautiful stadium.
Really, really nice stadium, and they do well over there. Again, that's one of the programs they continue to keep doing well, even though there's other programs out there. Like, Orange Vista's right over there, and they take a lot of kids now because a lot of kids want to go to that new school. But Citrus Hill just keeps turning that wheel, and congratulations on the undefeated season, Coach Eric Zamote. And they took care of business, beat Beaumont 48-0. As you
know
said.
They're going to see each other in the field eventually. Moms ain't going to like that.
No. And then moving right along, we had number 6 for us was Norco. And Norco's has been really playing competitive football. A lot of people said, hey, they've had their record isn't as squeaky clean as some of the people in our poll. However, they just really, really play competitive football, and they took care of business, took down a friend of the show, and they took down Corona 63-0.
And that's the thing about it. You got to think, Norco's got to think to themselves, if they had one of their most successful alumni, what could they do? Because Corona Centennial, their coach is a Norco alumni. And his name, I don't know what's going on this morning. His name escapes me right now as well.
Logan.
Matt Logan. I don't know why it escaped me. And then you think about another game. This was probably the game of the night. I would say Upland Rancho was this is the game of the night in Riverside County. Let's say that. You had Rancho Verde against Heritage, and last night when we were broadcasting the game, it was funny because we were broadcasting the game. I'm sitting here trying to watch Etowanda while I'm still trying to keep up with the Dodgers, and then we're also looking at a high school score. So we almost needed our own little control center as we're there. But Rancho Verde pulled it out, and a lot of people have said Rancho Verde hasn't played anybody. But, hey, you can only play the kids that are on your schedule because this is Duffy's first year back. So a lot of times in high school football, the schedule is already set when a coach comes in that first year.
No questions, yeah. So you won't really see that Coach Duffy's footprint in terms of scheduling until like next year. But as you mentioned, Rancho Verde just really big time. And you got to think they beat Heritage at home. I mean, beat Heritage at their home campus. So
and Heritage beat Cajon this year.
Yeah, they did. So you're going to really see. Obviously, there's going to be some changes in the poll for Rancho Verde. That anytime you can go out and you go to a school and beat them like that. And I've seen Heritage. They're really, really good, very competitive school. So big shout out to Coach Duffy, my guy, Coach Reeder, one of the defensive coordinators over there, and took care of business. Rancho Verde.
He's still over there. How's his son doing?
I saw him at a restaurant. He's doing something. I can't remember where he's playing, but he's still playing football.
Oh, good
young
stuff.
man. Very good young
stuff, man.
So 17-0, they took care of business, beat Heritage. But go ahead. But you were saying number 4 for us.
Number 4, Carter and Cajon squared off, and Cajon was able to get that. When you look at it, that's a Citrus Valley League game, and Cajon was able to get that win 46-21. And then number 3 in our poll was Heritage. We just talked about. Number 2 was Upland, who we talked about. Number 1, of course, was the big guys in the room, and that's Corona Centennial as they took on. They got another win. So, and Centennial, the thing about it, the way Centennial plays, when they play in the IE, it's like, for lack of a better term, it's a warm-up game because their real games happen when they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been competing for the state title for the last. I don't know. They've been in the state conversation for the last 5 years almost.
Yeah, and they're on the collision course again with Bosco.
Yeah, and wow, that's going to be that's one of those must-see games right there because those are two teams that are both undefeated, and Bosco just really going out there and just really knocking heads. So
interesting story about me when I lived in Downey. I actually lived closer to Bosco than I did Downey High. And I still don't have the best feelings for.
Oh yeah, Bosco's the
Bosco.
Big. They're the big juggernaut, the private school.
But back then they really weren't. Back then it was Poly and Modern Day that really ran it.
Yeah.
So I would say their head coach, who's an alumni, has really turned that program around. They just got a on-campus stadium. I think it was $14 million.
Yeah, I saw that.
That is correct. A high school football stadium in the state of California. I'll pull it up, but I believe it was $14 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's hard to compete with.
No, it really is. So that's crazy. But again, so we'll be back after this here shortly. We come back. We have some more news. We'll be talking Agua Caliente Clippers, and we'll talk a little bit more about basketball, and then we have some event news coming up in terms of our All-Star games.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm gonna pull it up. I see it right now. You know, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, newspapers in the history of newspapers. I just saw the story on PressTelegram.com, and the reason I say that is when young Coach B was first trying to get in the media, the first newspaper was funny. Wasn't my school newspaper. It wasn't the Downey City newspaper. It was the Press-Telegram that gave Coach B his first shot at getting in media. So I had to take a look at it. And I know they have a story about the groundbreaking. PressTelegram.com, man. Big ups to Press-Telegram. So,
no doubt.
You know. So you ready to take a commercial break?
We'll take a commercial break and come right back after this.
So when we come back, I'm going to tell a story about when I was on the top of the Press-Telegram building and I was afraid of heights. And I refused to sit on the ledge.
It looks like you already said it already.
So you're listening to IE Sports Net, protected by the Riverside Sheriff's Association. This is Coach B.
And Eternal. When it comes to Inland Empire Sports, you know the conversation starts and stops here. Live on Fox Sports 1350.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto and Protexxa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Protexxa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Protexxa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our four-season sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors. Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah! No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Score Sports has been a loyal partner in the sports industry for over 40 years. Founded in 1975, Score Sports has always been a family-owned and operated business located in the heart of Southern California. They offer a full line of youth and adult soccer uniforms, accessories, and field equipment, youth and adult basketball uniforms and accessories and equipment. Score Sports can outfit your coaches and league referees as well, and much more. Their dedication and attention to detail has transformed Score Sports into one of the leading sport uniform manufacturers in the United States. Visit their spacious warehouse at 726 East Anaheim Street in Wilmington, or call them today at 800-626-7774. That's 800-626-7774. Or visit them on the web at scoresports.com. That's scoresports.com, at facebook.com/scoresports, or on Twitter and Instagram with the handle ScoreSports. That's SCORESPORTS.
Hey, football fans, leave the Hail Marys for the game and go for the sure thing when it comes to satisfying your craving. When you pick up Raisin Canes for game day, all you have to worry about is the score, because we've got the food covered with fresh, never-ever frozen chicken fingers, cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. Our chicken fingers are always hand-battered and cooked to order, so no matter the score, you'll always win. Raisin Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Box combo, please.
At Raisin Cane's, we're all about quality. We mix cane sauce in our restaurants every day. And our chicken is hand battered and cooked to order. Our Texas toast is grilled with just the right amount of butter and garlic. And our lemonade is always freshly squeezed.
Love in the window.
And why do we do all this? Because it makes a difference. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
What's up, world? This is your favorite comic, Tony Rock. And you're checking out Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports.
Yes, we are back in the great city of Riverside at the iHeartRadio studios. It's IE Sportsnet, protected by the Riverside Sheriff's Association. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B, the official voice of your Agua Caliente Clippers of Ontario. When it comes to Inland Empire sports, you know the conversation starts and stops here. Make sure you follow us on FoxSports1350.com.
Yeah, I was just looking at this great picture of Linfield Christian, and has a big shot of our young man here that, again, completed some passes with a prosthetic leg, played in the game last night, almost had 100 yards passing. Just really a great story. Thanks again to Coach Burns for coming in to calling in and sharing that story with us. Just a really inspiring story. We have to make sure we get that kid in as soon as we can.
And the thing about it with Coach Burns, he went out of his way to make sure he called in because it's film study right now. Him and his coaches are doing film session, and like we said, young Alex Ruiz, he wanted to call in, but he had to take his SATs this morning. Now, I think to myself, what's more important, a Fox Sports Radio interview or SAT test? I personally would say probably the Fox Sports radio interview, but I'm partial. But I can understand that young man going and making sure that he does that. So great stuff for that young man. He didn't know what college. I don't think we talked about what college he's going to go to, but amazing stuff. And like you said, he knew that he would be able to get back on the field. And when you have a guy like that knows they can do it, that's good stuff for him, man. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, again, just a really powerful story, as you were saying. Just want to make sure we give a shout out to our guests. Excuse me. We got to make sure we shout out Etiwanda High School. They completed their season, and obviously it was a difficult season for them, but want to make sure we give them a shout out. Got a chance to build with them this season and did their live broadcast. So it was great.
Absolutely. And then, just want to know if people always ask, why is Raising Cane called Raising Cane? Because that was the name of the first dog. So just one love. Hey, we gotta show shine on our sponsor.
I was, I'm right there with you. I was just like, you just kind of hit me in the kidney with that one right there. I was like, oh, okay.
But you know what? I'm excited about it.
Oh, just please.
We got the production. We got the email from our printer, the magazine.
Hold on, let me
take your time.
Okay.
The magazine was and the thing about it is, there's certain things on IE Sports that we're passionate about.
Yes.
I know you're passionate about what you call media and the videos and all that stuff. To me, when I started this journey when I was in high school, it's a long time ago, man. I'm a Generation X. So just to give you an idea. It was all about print. And to do a print magazine, this is something I wanted to do when I was way back in high school. I always wanted a magazine. And to have IE Sportsnet do one and have you help me to do, because I don't do design, graphics, and all that stuff, and to have me see that vision done is amazing. Thank you to the Riverside Rams for helping as well.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. We didn't get a chance to really build on that, but again, that's going to be the IE Sportsnet, the magazine. Again, really a lot of work by myself and Coach B, kind of putting everything together. But the people I went on to make sure we thank is Patty LaBella, our staff writer. We want to make sure we thank Felicia Carrasco, who is our photographer. We want to thank the people that are featured in there as well, the Riverside Rams, as well as Etiwanda football, and then Notre Dame.
Riverside Notre Dame
is in there as well. So it's a lot of great stories in there. And also one of our big features is Reader's Choice. We did that for the third year in a row. So the winners will be announced. We'll actually probably post that on Monday. So that way people can kind of get a chance to see that and congratulate everybody, the winners of that. And then also one of our big sponsors is in there. We have to make sure we tip the cap to him, Dr. Jonathan Price.
Yes, absolutely. I got to get there. I got to get over there because I've been having some trouble with my back. So I got to make sure we do that. Today,
you better be ready.
Yeah, right. It's a secret location, but the Clippers, Agua Caliente Clippers, are having a scrimmage today.
They are having a scrimmage today, and so big shout out to Agua Caliente Clippers. They will be having a scrimmage. It will be in the city of Fontana, but at an undisclosed location. And then again, the season will kick off on the 4th. I know we got to get out of here. So
absolutely. Well, we thank everybody for listening to IE Sports Net, protected by the Riverside Sheriff's Association. I am Coach Bean. Also, I just talked to I accidentally FaceTimed Mr. Masson, so I had a chance to talk. I mean, I was walking into the Clippers Media Day. I accidentally FaceTimed him, but I am the one and only Coach Bean.
It's a good thing you weren't. Jesus.
I know, right?
Oh, my God. You weren't committing no crime. And I am Eternal. Thank you for listening, tuning in. When
it comes to Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here.
Yeah.
Follow us on FoxSports1350.com.
Peace, man.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire.
From the North.